Hi everybody, welcome back. My name is Elise and this is 10 to Life, where we talk all things true crime. We talk about the current cases, we talk about the old cases, the cold cases, the conspiracy cases, we talk about everything. So if you are brand new stopping by for the first time, welcome. I hope you enjoy today's case video and hearing what I have to say. And if you do enjoy it and you enjoy the vibe here and all the chat and everybody that, is talking and commenting, and if this is the channel for you, don't forget to hit that subscribe button below so that you can support the channel and stay notified of new videos as they drop. And for all of my returning subscribers, thank you again for joining me today. I am so happy to have you back. Love seeing all the familiar faces pop up in the chat, and I am excited to go over this case with you today.
10 to Life with Elise starts right now.
Melissa Molinari is a 38-year-old mother who lives in Long Island, New York. Melissa is married to her husband Marcelo, who she met while she was living in California at just 20 years old. At the time they met, Marcelo already had a 2-year-old child from a prior relationship. They hit it off, and Melissa and Marcelo end up moving to Long Island, New York. They get married, and they have 4 more children, ranging from the ages of 4 to 17 years old. Marcelo worked in IT, and Melissa held quite a few different little jobs. She often had part-time jobs that she would have at night, including as a cashier at the local Kohl's and driving a van for a flooring company. All around, the American dream, this loving relationship, this loving marriage, a beautiful home, beautiful children, working to make ends meet, to make a good life and provide for their children, and really just the epitome of a traditional happy family. Melissa's main priority has always been her children. For her, everything was about her kids. She was a very doting and very loving mother. They were her absolute best friends, and Melissa would do anything to make her children happy. She never missed a soccer game. She never missed a dance recital. She was always there for her kids. And that's hard to do when you have so many kids, because she never missed a single event. She had daughters who were in dance classes, she had a son who was in Boy Scouts, she had a son who was in soccer, and she somehow managed to make it to everything. She was like Supermom. And as for Melissa's husband, Marcelo, he also was an amazing father. He loved his children, he made very smart financial decisions for the family, and he was all around the dad that these kids always wanted to be around. However, it's said that Melissa oftentimes was put last on the totem pole to Marcelo, and that she would often come last to other priorities that would take precedent. But even with that didn't seem to faze Melissa. She was still the matriarch of the family. She was handling all of the children, going to all of their events, all of their sporting events, loving her children unconditionally, and even planning tons of family vacations for all of them to go and just celebrate together and have a good time. These vacations included trips to Mexico, to California, and most recently, in early November of 2021, a trip to Disney World. But just 3 weeks after what was supposed to be a trip to the happiest place on earth, a dark cloud swept over this family, and it really just turned into a nightmare. Melissa seemingly vanished. Just days before Thanksgiving, she was gone without a trace, and nobody knew where Melissa went or what had happened. So what happened? Well, we are going to talk about it after we have a quick word from today's sponsor. Okay, guys, so if you follow me on Instagram, and if you don't follow me on Instagram, you probably should, because I'm a lot of fun over there. But if you follow me on Instagram, then you probably have seen already that this year I have decided to make a much more concerted effort to be healthier and to take better care of my body. I'm working out, I'm eating better, and I'm trying to be very mindful of what I consume and put in my body. And in this new journey of mine, I stumbled across a company called Care Of. Care Of is a subscription service that sends high quality personalized vitamin packs to your door every single month. To get started, you take a very quick but in-depth quiz on their website. You answer questions about your health goals, what it is you're looking for, and things that are important to you, and then it gives you the recommendations based on your answers. For me, energy is very important. I have essentially 2 jobs. I have 2 young kids. I'm always on the go, so I really wanted to focus in on my energy. For me also, I'm getting older, and I won't even tell you how old I am, but I'm getting older. So for me too, like elasticity and collagen and skincare is also very important. And to round it all out, stress and mood is also very important to me because I'm not trying to be a grumposaurus. So I took the quiz, and then Carev sent me these personalized vitamin packs with everything that I need to be taking every single day. They also included collagen, which is unflavored and you can put in your coffee, your tea, whatever it is you're drinking, and this is really the skin game changer. I've been taking the vitamins and the collagen for just 5 days now, and I swear I'm already noticing a difference in my skin. I keep my vitamins right on my nightstand because I do not want to skip a single day. And I have my collagen, boop, right there where I make my tea in the morning. One of the vitamins in my pack is called rhodiola, and this is for the stress and mood. And I have found that I have just been all around more pleasant, I think, to be around, and I would say my husband probably agrees, and I attribute it to this bad boy here. What I love most about Carev is that it's clean ingredients that are backed by science, so you can absolutely trust what you're putting into your body. And for me, I love that it's tailored to what your personal values are, what it is you're looking for health-wise, what you feel like you're lacking on in some areas. You take that quiz and it is a tailor-made custom vitamin pack for you. And I think that's pretty cool. It's really just such an easy way to take care of yourself daily. Visit the link in my description box to take the quiz for yourself and see what's recommended for you. And then you can use my code 10TOLIFE for 50% off your first order. Long gone are the days of just buying every single generic vitamin on the shelf and hoping that it works. This is the one that you need to get because it is tailor-made for you. So guys, take the quiz, get your recommendation of products, and try your Carev vitamins today. And once you do, come back here, report back to me, and let me know how much you love them. Thank you, Carev, for sponsoring today's video, and thank you to all of you viewers for understanding that sponsors are essential to the channel if we want to grow it to a place where I can deliver you more true crime all the time. All right, let's jump into this case. This beautiful young 38-year-old mother, Melissa, was gone. Nobody knew where she had gone, and she was last seen at her son's soccer game, and then also at the coach party directly following the soccer game, and this was on November 21st, 2021. But then she was gone. She had vanished, and nobody heard from Melissa and knew what had happened. Her Chrysler minivan was still parked in the driveway, but she was nowhere to be found. And Melissa's neighbor Gina says this was very surprising to know that Melissa had left her house but left her minivan behind. And she says, I find it very surprising that she didn't take her car. She was in it all the time. That's what I'm shocked about, that she would leave the kids because she was so hands-on. It's just weird, and it's got to be so hard. Just really surprised that this doting mother who, we all know if you have a minivan, it's because you're carting kids around left and right to soccer games, to, Cub Scouts, whatever it is. So this mom, whose whole life was basically her children, was now gone with no explanation, also leaving behind the vehicle that she used to transport all of those kids everywhere. Something was afoot. Now, in a very interesting turn of events, Melissa wasn't reported as missing right away. In fact, she wasn't reported as missing until 10 days later after the last known sighting of Melissa at that soccer game. 10 days had gone by and she wasn't reported as missing. Thanksgiving had gone by and she wasn't reported as missing. Why? Why isn't anybody reporting her as missing? This seems like it's probably a red flag. And on December 2nd, when Melissa finally was officially reported as missing, it wasn't her husband, Marcelo, that reported her as missing. It was Melissa's friend. Now tell me this, okay? If 10 days have gone by, Thanksgiving has gone by, the kids are celebrating Thanksgiving, and your wife is missing, and you don't report her as missing, how many red flags go up, guys? How many red flags? And then to not even be the one to report her as missing 10 days later, but a friend reports her as missing. But maybe this wasn't a red flag after all. Maybe he had an explanation, and Marcelo did have an explanation, one that made sense and one that he immediately told the authorities. Marcelo tells the police that he and Melissa had been having marital issues and that this had really stemmed over allegations of infidelity on Melissa's part. He also tells them that they were discussing divorce. He continues to say that on November 22nd, the day after Melissa was last seen, she had actually stormed out of the house, and that then she returned the following day on the 23rd, packed a bag, and then left with an unknown man, presumably the one that she was having an affair with. He says that they had decided that they were going to continue to live together in that family home until the divorce was finalized and they could sell the property. So in the meantime, they had gotten into that argument. She packed a bag, left with this man that she was seeing, and that's why he didn't report her as missing, because she really wasn't missing. She had left on her own accord. And he also says that when Thanksgiving hit, it wasn't weird that she wasn't there, because she called him and she said, "Hey, I'm going to need you to cook for the kids. I'm not coming for Thanksgiving." So he reiterates to the investigators that there's nothing afoot here. There's nothing to really look into. We're planning on getting a divorce. We're having marital issues. She up and willing and left. She's fine. She's safe. I'm handling the kids. And once we finalize the divorce and sell the property, we're going to go our separate ways. But when did things go wrong for this happy couple? They had just gone away on this family vacation to Disney World just weeks earlier. They were preparing for the holidays together. What went wrong? Well, apparently, that trip to the happiest place on earth turned out to be the trip from hell. According to a close friend of Melissa's that has been friends with her for nearly a decade, she says that Melissa had confided in her about relationship trouble in the months leading up to this mysterious disappearance. And the friend says that Melissa confided in her that while she still loves her husband Marcelo, it feels good to feel wanted and to feel appreciated, something that she wasn't feeling at home with her husband. And her friend says that for her to feel unloved and unimportant after 18 years of marriage was something that was very hard for Melissa and very confusing. And this ultimately led Melissa to search for companionship outside of her marriage. So then, while Melissa and her husband and her children are on this family excursion, this family vacation at Disney World, allegedly, Marcelo sees a text message pop up on Melissa's phone. And this text message was from Melissa's new love interest. So this sparked an immediate argument between the couple. And reportedly, it was such a bad, heated argument that ultimately this family vacation and this trip was cut short. Melissa also posted no pictures of this family trip on Facebook, which was very unlike her. She usually documented all of these family vacations, all of her excursions with her children regularly on social media. But there was not a stitch of this to be seen. And when she returned home, she didn't contact any of her friends. She didn't tell them what was going on. She didn't confide in them. And this also was very unlike Melissa. But according to her husband, Marcelo, this whole incident that erupted at Disney World is what sparked those divorce conversations and what sparked Melissa to storm out of that house, pack a bag, and leave with her new love interest on November 23rd. So Suffolk County starts a complete investigation. They go to work and they are looking for Melissa and looking for any leads that could indicate where she had gone or what may have happened to her. They use all of their officers on the ground, and they also enlist the help of canines. In addition to searching Melissa's house, police also searched a water basin that was across the street from the family home, all of which unfortunately turned up no leads. And there was still no sign of Melissa anywhere. So was she off, in fact, with her new lover? Did she just need to take a break and get away from it all? What could have happened? Because at this point, it didn't appear that there was anything that indicated foul play. From the get-go, Melissa's husband, Marcelo, cooperated with the police. He allowed them to search the home, search the minivan, and even turned over his cell phone to them. Said, search whatever you need to do, look into whatever you need to look into. I want you to figure out what happened and where Melissa is. And this also made investigators believe that Marcelo's story about them separating most likely was true, because usually if there's somebody who is guilty or involved in something, they don't typically willingly hand over their tech or allow searches to happen if there are no warrants. But he willingly gave his cell phone over and said, search whatever you need to search. So this search continues, and missing flyers are posted everywhere. Everybody is trying to figure out what happened to Melissa. She has now been missing for over 10 days, and this search got so wide, in fact, that Gabby Petito's father, Joe Petito, also started talking about it, and he posted on his social media urging his followers to help spread the word, help generate awareness, and ultimately find answers for Melissa's family. And this is something that Joe had vowed to do in honor of his daughter Gabby ever since that horrible death and horrible situation with her ex-boyfriend, estranged fiance, Brian Laundrie. He has vowed to help other people in her honor, and he absolutely did that. He took to his social media and he asked everybody to share the flyer and to keep an eye out.
There's an urgent search on Long Island for a missing mother of 4. Melissa Molinari was last seen more than 2 weeks ago, and now the father of Gabby Petito is asking people to help find her. News 4's Paisy Chang's in Center Reach with more on the search for this woman. Paisy?
Well, David, you know, people are really starting to worry now because it has been so long since they last saw her. Melissa Molinari was seen leaving her house, this blue house over here, on November 21st. Today, Suffolk detectives returned to the street, but not to the house. They went over here to the water basin across the street where detectives and a canine went in there to search for her. They were here for about an hour and then they left. It didn't appear they found anything, but they did bring the canine to the sump to search for missing mother Melissa Molinari. Police say that Molinari is 38 years old and last seen at her home on November 21st. She's a married mother of 4 children. Police say she's about 5'4" and 120 pounds. At this point, police won't say if her disappearance is suspicious, only that her family, including her husband, are cooperating. A friend reported.
I find it very surprising that she didn't take her car or nothing, because she was in that car all the time. That was her car. She was in and out of it, you know.
What kind of car?
Literally like 7 times a day I would see her going in and out of the house.
And Gabby Petito's father, who has vowed to help other families find their missing loved ones, tweeted his audience to please help, looking for any and all clues that will lead police to Molinari. Again, if you know anything about this case, you're urged to call the Suffolk County Police. For now, we are live from Center Reach. Paisy Chang, News 4 New York.
As mentioned, Marcelo turned over his phone to investigators right off the bat and said, search, do whatever you need to do. And they did. They searched his phone, and what they found was chilling, to say the least. The chilling details that they found not only suggested that Marcelo may be responsible for what happened to Melissa, but also that he may have been plotting this for quite some time. GPS data on his phone showed that he was at a nearby state park at 4 in the morning on November 23rd. Now remember, November 23rd is the day that he says she packed a bag, they got in an argument, and she stormed out with this new love interest. But his GPS data is showing that he was at a nearby state park just a few miles away from the family's home at 4 a.m. Then again, at that same state park on December 3rd, the day after Melissa was reported as missing. Now, why would Marcelo happen to be at a state park near the home at 4 a.m. the day Melissa storms out, and again the day after Melissa is reported as missing? Could he have been trying to move something? Could he have been trying to clean something up? Or was he just there on an innocent walk in the park? So investigators pursue those GPS coordinates of that nearby state park. They want to see what was he doing, where was he going, and what was happening in this park to where he had to visit multiple times. And while in the park, Suffolk County Police discover the remains of 38-year-old Melissa Molinari. They found her body wrapped in garbage bags, towels, blanket, saran wrap, and duct tape. This was in that park just about 10 miles from the family home. And Melissa was reportedly stabbed over 20 times to the front and back of her torso. I mean, this was a very personal and very brutal crime. Over 20 stab wounds. The police go back and search the home and the car of Melissa, and a canine reacted to blood inside that family home's basement. It also reacted to blood inside Melissa's minivan that she had left behind. With these traces of blood being found in the family home, in the basement, and in her minivan, this means that this crime may be tied to somebody who is very close to Melissa. Someone who perhaps has motive to hurt her, or someone who perhaps is angry at her for something. In any event, it appears that this crime happened in the home, and that made them take a much closer look. Well, there was additional information that was recovered from his phone, including internet searches that would shine an entire new light on this case. Additional searches on his phone showed internet searches of him looking up different countries and places in which he would not be extradited for homicide. And these searches took place weeks earlier, leading investigators to believe that this was something he had been planning for quite some time. Police say that they are now working under the theory that the house was the crime scene, where those traces of blood were found in the basement, and then that she was moved in her minivan using her own vehicle that she drove her children to all of their events in, that she was then moved in that minivan to this state park. And they believe that her husband Marcelo is the one responsible for all of this. They believe that he stabbed her in that basement over 20 times and then moved her body in her minivan to the state park to dispose of her remains. Now, although police found traces of blood present in not only the basement but also the minivan, they never recovered the murder weapon itself. Marcelo was immediately arrested, and he was charged with second-degree murder and held without bond.
A gruesome investigation on Long Island. A missing mother of four, killed, stabbed 20 times, and now her husband is under arrest. Prosecutors claiming he planned her death for weeks.
Yeah, Bill, the case of a missing mother here in Center Reach had police suspicious of her husband right away. Marcelo Molinari claimed his wife ran off with another man. He let the police search her vehicle and his phone, and police say he was cooperative until they found her body early yesterday in a wooded area in Middle Island.
The body was off a trail, covered with leaves and branches and wrapped in plastic.
43-year-old Marcelo Molinari was arrested shortly after the grim discovery of his missing wife's body.
Marcelo was immediately arrested, and he was charged with second-degree murder and held without bond. However, this was far from over, because we were going to learn more information about his internet searches and more information about a possible strategy that he has in court. Police say that Marcelo underwent facial plastic surgery, that he also joined a dating website in addition to all of those searches about extradition, indicating that this was not only planned, but that he was going to make every attempt possible to evade police. He was taking measures to change what his face looked like, to go to a different country, and my question with all of this is, were you planning to leave your children behind, or were you planning to take them with you on this new journey? And if you were planning to take them with you, how were you going to explain the new face to them? How were you going to explain the move to another country to them? It all just feels very extreme. Marcelo's defense attorney also has laid now the groundwork for what he thinks might be a strong defense, saying that there could be constitutional issues surrounding Marcelo's initial arrest. And he says, and I quote, "The first time he was given an attorney was here at the courthouse. He's informed me that he asked for an attorney from the beginning of this investigation, and he was denied the entire time. There's certainly going to be an investigation conducted by the defense in this case, and we're certainly going to proceed forward with a trial in this manner." So he is suggesting that the arrest and the interrogation, whatever took place, may not have been by the book. And he's saying we are absolutely going to go forward with a trial. And in my opinion, he seems fairly confident that there will either be a mistrial because of this or that he will be acquitted. So was all of this because Melissa was reportedly seeing somebody outside of her marriage? Or was this something that had been planned for much longer? Was there other marital issues below the surface? And was this anger something that had been slowly bubbling up to the surface? Or was this a true crime of passion and a knee-jerk reaction to discovering at Disney World that she was having an affair? And if it really did all stem back to this Disney World trip where Marcelo learns of the affair through that text message, what a brutal and permanent ending to something that was allegedly already over. Because police say that they spoke with the person who Melissa was in a relationship with, and he says that it ended in early November, prior to them even going to Disney World. So could this entire situation have been avoided had Marcelo known that this relationship was no longer? Now these children are left without their mother, and they are left without their father. It's just beyond tragic, and beyond selfish. And we're going to see what happens with this trial and with his plea in general, because as of now, Marcelo hasn't even entered in a plea. So we don't know if he is going to plead guilty, not guilty, what they're going to do, what their strategy is. We still don't know.
Her husband did not enter a plea at his initial appearance and was ordered held without bail.
By the sounds of it, it sounds like his lawyer may be trying to implement an even different strategy into all of this. So it's going to be really interesting as we learn more and as more information surfaces to see what else comes out. And I think too, once we get the discovery of his cell phone and the records and the internet searches, I'm very interested to know how far back these searches date. If it dated prior to the Disney World trip, if it dated, months or even a year back, because for somebody to go all the way through to, trying to do plastic surgery to change their face, looking into countries for extradition, if this were a crime of passion and a knee-jerk quick reaction around the 23rd of November, or whenever it is, that seems like a pretty methodical plan that must have taken some thought that I don't believe somebody could whip together within just days of this investigation, to go to the lengths again of facial reconstructive surgery or whatever it is, recognition surgery. Like, that just seems very, very planned out to me. So I can't help but wonder, is this something that actually was in play much longer, and perhaps the affair set him over the edge, or perhaps the affair is an excuse? Because we also now know from the boyfriend himself that this relationship ended prior to them even going on that family trip to Disney World. What do you guys think? What do you make of this case? What have you heard? What do you think? Do you think it was truly a crime of passion and something to where he just reacted out of complete anger, which again, typically crimes of passion happen also in the heat of the moment, which they had returned home from Disney World and they were at home for weeks until this happened. So again, for it just to be a fleeting moment, a crime of passion, a hysterical reaction, I don't know that I'm buying that. I don't know. I think that maybe this goes a little bit deeper. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in with me again today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the coverage. Don't forget, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Give this video a thumbs up on your way out. And stay tuned, because we are going to have a lot more videos in the near future. And we are going to have so much more true crime to talk about, guys. As always, if you want more access to true crime all the time, you are welcome to join our Discord, which is just a fancy way of doing a group chat on your phone. It's an app, and it's basically like a chat room or a group chat. You don't have to give your phone number. You just put your screen name thing in it. And we talk in there 24/7 about true crime cases, deeper into other cases, into some of the cases that YouTube won't let me talk about. So if you want to be a part of that and join that, just head to Patreon and you can link it through there. All right, guys, it was a pleasure talking with you today and sharing this information. I will keep you updated. And until the next case, stay safe. Bye.